anything in the back.
Okay, everybody ready?
No,
Okay.
I believe this is,
Oh, okay.
Ryan's his, stand-in.
Call to order the regular common council meeting, Monday, May 5th, 7:03 P.M. Roll call.
Kribel?
Here.
Grisanti?
Here.
Davis?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Fensky?
Here.
Burdick?
Verdict's excused. Next item is pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Basically, appropriate meeting notice.
Meeting notice was posted on Friday, May 2nd at the library, the post office, city hall, and the website.
Thank you. Also acceptance of agenda. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to accept the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Personal appearances. Anyone in the audience wish to speak on anything? Agenda? Doesn't. Okay, let's move on to the minutes from April 21st.
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the April 21st minutes. Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carried. Committee reports, finance, and Tim.
Finance met earlier today at 6:30. I'll make a motion to approve bills and payroll in the amount of $202,967.66.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to pay the bills. Any questions on the bills? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw?
Yes.
Kribel?
Yes.
Grisanti?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Fensky?
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'll make a motion to approve the event packet for the Edgerton Conservation Fishing Derby on May 18th, waiving all fees. And if the organizer wants a second porta potty, they will be paying for it.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve the event packet without adding the extra porta potty, so I'm gonna either challenge the council, I already talked, text Jim, he didn't get back to me, that I will pay for half of one, the other half is picked up by the rest of the council or anyway.
Yeah.
so.
I
Last year was $150, so I thought, let's see, we'll do $150.
agree. Yeah.
I'll, okay.
Accept your challenge.
Should be able to cover it then.
Sounds good. So do I have to, amend anything?
No.
Probably shouldn't even talk about this on the agenda here, we're not on the agenda, but. Or what's Ryan think about that?
Well, your motion's correct. Your motion is the city's not paying for it, doesn't matter how it gets paid for, right?
Perfect.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw?
Yes.
Kribel?
Yes.
Grisanti?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Fensky?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Make a motion to fund the Arthur Drive resurface by using capital surplus funds.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to fund the Arthur Drive resurfacing, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw?
Yes.
Kribel?
Yes.
Grisanti?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Fensky?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Make a motion to approve a $4,500 payment to Energy Tax Service to for the tax filing services for energy projects.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second for tax filing services, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw?
Yes.
Kribel?
Yes.
Grisanti?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Fensky?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Make a motion to approve a one-time payment or fee of $5,060 to migrate our email from GoDaddy to Microsoft 365.
I'll second.
Motion and a second for email migration, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw?
Yes.
Kribel?
Yes.
Grisanti?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Fensky?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Make a motion to, receive and request proposals for the Marshview Court lots by using an ad in the paper, Facebook, and website, and keeping it open. So staff had until such time that staff has enough time to analyze the proposals for our June 16th meeting.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to consider the sale of the Marshview lot. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Kribel,
Yes.
Grisanti,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Fenske,
Yes.
Motion passes.
And then I'll make a motion to proceed with the DOT agreement for the Highway 59 resurfacing, using capital surplus for design costs incurred in 2025.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve the DOT agreement. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Kribel,
Yes.
Grisanti,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Fenske,
Yes.
Motion passes.
That's everything for finance.
Thank you. Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec met on Wednesday, April 30th. As you recall, the Avery Oswald had attended the council meeting. The last council meeting. She did come to the Parks and Recs meeting and did the same presentation, did a fabulous job, and the committee approved to have the bathhouses at Racetrack Park. And asked that she work with Zach as far as placement, how many, that kind of stuff, because finding out that there's certain things that bats need, the water, the whatever, not in certain heights of trees or whatever, so Avery's gonna work with Zach on that, so once that's done, we'll let you know, but that was good, she was very pleased about that. The Rotary Club had asked about working at the West Meadows, we're gonna see West Meadows Woods Park, which is on the corner of, is that Menhall? What did you, Menhall and West Hall? So what they would like to do is they want to work with an experienced company to undertake in the initial task of removing all of the invasive trees and treating the stumps so that they don't regenerate. Basically clean everything up, but there's a lot of invasive stuff there, so it's gonna take a little bit of work. So they've shown an interest in doing that, maybe adopting that park area. And so the Parks Committee approved that, and then as time goes on, we'll be considering maybe placing signage at that place, indicating that the Rotary Club has adopted that, so more to come on that, but that was a nice plus. The fish pond park pier improvements, so you heard, I think you guys heard earlier, everything's looking really good at the pond. The water level is much higher than what it was, which is a good thing. But because of that, they had to, the people, the slides for the fish derby, they run everything there. They had to get pipes. I don't know if they're called pipes, whatever, to extend the height of the pier because of the water being so high, it was gonna float away. So they had to spend some money on that, and now what they're looking to do is to extend the pier out another 20 feet. So, which would be really nice, but they're coming to the Parks Committee asking for some possible funding on that, so. What they spent on the pipes to get the pier higher and what they want to do to extend it, we asked them to pull some information together, and we're gonna talk about it at the next Parks meeting as to what's in our budget and what we think we can afford. And maybe the fishing derby they had suggested maybe they put some money towards it too, because it's upwards of $7,000, so we're gonna be looking at all that in the funding, so more to come on that. We also discussed lateral pay for lifeguards. The lifeguard director had indicated that as she's looking at hiring lifeguards, while she has some. As we all know, it's best to hire the better, the more experience, the better, but it's hard to get those experienced lifeguards. So we had approved a $1 per hour higher wage for experienced lifeguards where they had experience from another facility in there. And if we can attract them that way, so we have approved that, which means they were going from $11.50 to $12.50. We had gone out to Racetrack Park and we looked at pitching warm-ups. I think I had talked about this at the last meeting. Looking at, pitching, warm-up for the pitchers, down first baseline and third baseline. Controversy is it will distract spectators from seeing the game, so. There's been a lot of back and forth with that, so. One of the this is for the baseball, boys baseball. What was decided was to put up a temporary one to see if there's any complaints from anybody. Which I think there might be, but then again, maybe not, so there will be a temporary. Place for bullpen or warm up for the pitchers, and so if you guys hear anything, please let us know. And if, like I said, it's only gonna be temporary to see what happens and if people playing or they say they really like it, so. No money coming from the city or parks on that, the baseball field is funding, or baseball organization is funding that, so more to come on that one off as well. Two locations, we looked at two locations for the skateboard park. There is one, and if you guys wanna go out to Racetrack Park and look at it, they're staked out. One right next to the deer pen, which is 50 by 80.
50 by 100.
50 by 100.
I'm sorry, that's right, I keep getting those two numbers. 50 by 100 by the deer park. And then if you go out to where the old tractor pull area is, that is 80 by 100. So a little bit bigger, which is more ideal. And the reason why that's bigger is because it's a bigger spot than it is right by the deer park. So, at our next parks meeting, I think is that they're gonna come with some, dollar figures as to what it will cost for those two areas, so. More to come on that, we're gonna be going through that at the next parks meeting, which I think is going to be within another week or two. And then Anne and I keep forgetting her name,
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie, I'm close. Did talk about the pool, they've got, a lot of their staff hired, the pool is gonna open June 2nd. At 4:00 p.m. They're running the food stand out at Racetrack Park already. She said pool rentals for the weekends are already totally booked with the exception of 6 weekends open only. So that is great, that, you know, that's a wonderful thing. And then Zach had informed us that, Fox replaced the 30-foot of line to fix the water leak for the bathroom.
Yep.
Up at Racetrack Park, is that correct? And, I think that's it. I'm sorry, I'd like to go on further, but I think that's it.
Sounds like, we're pretty busy.
It was a good meeting, yes.
This is the time we'll bring up that they've already started knocking down the brush out at the West Meadows Mental Park.
Oh, well, you know what? There you go, good. It, no cost for the city, so that's great,
That's cleaned up pretty good.
good. So that's it for parks.
Okay, thank you, all personnel.
Yes, personnel met this evening much quicker. We met at 6:15 p.m. We elected a chair. They get me still. We approved a wage cap for the DPW groundskeeper and a cemetery keeper. with the cap being $19 per hour, which was something that we kind of missed at the last time we did the salary resolution for the wage. And that's it for personnel.
So you just make a motion for that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, we do have to have this, that wasn't just an update. So. Make a motion to consider City of Edgerton Resolution 01-25A amended salary resolution.
I'll second. Motion and second to approve the City of Edgerton Resolution 01-25A. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Fenske,
Yes.
Kribel,
Yes.
Grisanti,
Yes.
Motion passes.
And that's it for parks,
Thank you.
or personnel.
RDA, well, we had a little meeting tonight. Got one action to take item on the funding of the mural.
So it's been, asked that the city pay for the mural on the Veterans Building. Welcome back to Edgerton for a amount of $3,100 that's paid in full by the city.
You want to make that as a motion that it's coming out of the Economic Development Fund?
I'd like to make that as a motion, and it's coming out of the Economic Development Fund for $3,100.
For a second.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to approve $3,100 out of the Economic Fund, Development Fund for the mural at 210. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Grisanti,
Yes.
Kribel,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Fenske,
Yes.
Motion passes. That should be about it from RDA that we bring forward.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Fire District.
Okay, so we have Chief here, I think he's gonna cover most everything, we had a board meeting. April 24th. We got kind of messed up on some of our weeks, but we got April 24th. And we have, our next board meeting will be Thursday, May 22nd. And that will be election of, you're looking at me, that was the right date, right? Because I know we.
Yep.
We will have election of officers at that meeting, as well as cadets or interns.
Yeah, I was gonna pick up on that one.
You do
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
okay.
The cadet program, which are the young men and women that are still in high school, as compared to the interns who are the college ones, the cadets. 9 individuals this year from Edgerton and Milton High School, extremely good group. We've already got 4 or 5 applications from those groups of seniors for then the intern program next year, which is a really good thing. It's just all part of this grow our own. But their graduation ceremony, we're gonna honor them. Their parents will be there, and acknowledge them. We're gonna do it at 5:30 on that evening, to get them a little bit of recognition. Just a super good, group of young men and women, so really proud of them. In general, continued on a pretty upbeat, path this year, but I'll share a little bit of insight with you on a couple of things. So year over year, we are now running at 19% ahead of where we were last year. But maybe more significant, if you look at the EMS line, we are 37% year over year on EMS calls. And that's gonna play into some of the financials here in a second. Did I mention the Oak Park Place conversation? I mean, I do this 11 times a month, so I forget who I mentioned stuff to. I sat down, the gentleman who owns Oak Park Places across all of southern Wisconsin, we sit right next to each other for basketball games. And so one day, a couple of months ago, I said, hey, I want to talk to your planning division, right? And get my head around what you guys are seeing in terms of demand on the older population, because that's driving most of what we're dealing with. So he got his planning division together and we sat down with them. They expect their demand, which in essence turns into our demand for the most part, to continue to grow over the next 7 years. And then it'll peak in about 7 years, probably plateau for about 3 before they start to see demand on their facilities coming down. So as much as that might translate into the impact on us, what we're seeing in this increase in demand probably continues to increase over the next 6 years, is roughly what came out of that conversation. So it's just a little insight, right? And as you've heard multiple times, we are keeping up with it. We are doing an extremely good job. I'm very proud of the troops for what we've been doing. But we don't see that pressure coming off of us for a little while. We did set a record last month. There was one day with 17 calls in one day, and that was not one of the storm days, by the way. So it just kind of gives you a little bit of insight there. Municipality wise, Edgerton, we had 40 incidents. You guys are actually lower in terms of call volume than you were last year, right? Last year, you were at 26.2% of our overall call volume. This year at 23.1%. And we really are. We're seeing more and more increase in the smaller municipalities, the Porters, the Limas, the Johnstowns, which are also farther out, right? So units are tied up longer and all that kind of stuff. But you can quote me on this. Edgerton is not our problem right now. I mean, it's the volume's still there, but not really increasing the way we're seeing the other stuff. Staffing, we're doing really well on the staffing piece. I mentioned to the board, I've mentioned several times, City of Janesville is about to do another hiring. They're struggling with the same things we are. We know 3 individuals already on our staff that they are specifically targeting. I mean, we get it, right? We've got some really, really good young people, but that also means they're kind of the target of, you know, the bigger guys that like to just steal stuff. So, I did want to comment, and I was going to have an attachment. I didn't get to it in time so you could see it. The board will have it. I'll try to remember to attach it to your report next month. The additional funding, speaking of following, the additional funding that we got that gave us the ability to work towards 2 paramedics in Station 2 in Edgerton.
And ambulance 340.5 to 321 Oak Street for
We're working towards that. We should be at 2 paramedics on duty in the Edgerton station probably by July. We'll actually have them late May, but then they have to go through the affiliation process with Mercy Health and everything. Takes a month or so, a month and a half. So we're working that way. We already have 1 on and affiliated. We should have the other 2 on. So we hit that 2 paramedic level. I'm hoping by early to mid July. So making good progress on that. Our 2024-25 interns, so now these are the college kids. We are looking for 8. Normally it would be 6, 3 for Edgerton, 3 for Milton. But we did end up exiting 3 individuals out of the current program over grade issues. Worked with them really hard at the mentoring level, got them every support we could give them. It finally got to the, you know, fish or cut bait stage. And just couldn't meet the requirements. So we did exit 3, so that created some additional openings. But we've got some good participation there. We're getting 2 individuals out of the Madison area, right? We usually draw out of Rock County pretty strong, but we're starting to get a good enough reputation that we're now starting to pull some kids out of Dane County as well and out of Madison area. That'll be kind of fun. On the backside, the finances still look really good. I don't think that changes as we go through the year. We're being very careful about how we bring on the additional costs, the additional staff, so we don't get ourselves upside down. But here's where I wanted to make an interesting comment about the increase in call volume. You've heard us talk about this GEMT funding. We're going after some federal funding to try to bring some federal dollars into our program. The reporting is exhaustive, beyond belief. Candy will see a readout on it here in a couple of weeks. It's unbelievable the amount of detail we're having to pull together to provide to the feds. It's good information. Right now, the way we said, it looks like an average EMS call costs us about $1,485 every time that ambulance goes out the door. And that's the medications, the supplies, the fuel, just all, fully loaded cost, about $1,485. Medicare and Medicaid reimburses us on a serious medical, $385. On a basic medical, they reimburse us $159. And if it's a, assist somebody up or something like that, we get $59. So you can figure that out in your mind, right? I mean, every time that ambulance goes out the door, we're losing money. And so when the ambulance has gone out the door 37% more than it went out last year, what we are seeing is that the additional funding that we got, and again, we're green and we're gonna stay green, but we're really careful with this because 66%, 67% of all of our calls are Medicare, Medicaid. So if that ambulance is going out the door 37% more than last year, and 67% of those calls, we lose money every time it goes out the door, you can just see that you can't win. I mean, there's no way to do this. So we're being very careful with it. We're trying to figure out how to make sure that we take advantage of that would be the CIA listening in.
No, that's the feds.
It's the feds, it's the feds. But that's in essence the dynamics of what, and you guys have your own, right? I mean, Ramona could probably give you plenty of examples of how, bad things just keep happening to the locals because the feds just keep dumping the burden on you. And this is a really good example of it. So it's a little insight for you.
So that 1,400 though is all of your calls.
That is ambulance.
So what is it, just the 67% that go out for the Medicare? It can't be 1,400, because 1,400 is when you go out there and you're doing all the stuff at the bad wrecks and all that.
Yeah.
It's gotta be less. I don't think it's $59.
Yeah.
But it's not 1,400 either.
So, and I understand the perspective, and again, I'm gonna give you the world's worst case scenario, right? If we respond to somebody that's a pulseless non-breather, we are probably gonna use about $4,000 worth of medications. And we don't transport if in fact we can't bring them back, because with the system we have, we're able to declare deceased on the scene, $59 reimbursement for that.
So it's, so that 1,480, I think I hear you say, chief, is kind of the average.
It is, it's the
So,
average.
but more times than not,
But it's not the average of Medicare. It's average of everything.
no, it's an average of what it costs the fire department
To go out
Yeah.
every call.
Yeah,
on every
Yeah.
call. Because like she said, it's the equipment.
Oh, I
Going
got
out,
that.
no matter what type of call it is. Your personnel, that's a set fee, no matter what type of call it is. And more times than not, you've got some oxygen, Band-Aids. I mean, on and on and on.
Band-Aids being used. I will ask, we have somebody that spent 14 years working with CMS data. I'll ask her if she can get me a better shot at what that average would be just for the Medicare.
My guess is still $900, and even on the big ones, you're at $300, so you're well below.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I understand.
I would, and probably enterprise, I should get in on your challenge, Mayor, and I'll get in.
it's not a porta potty we're
If
talking.
it's under 1,000, I'd be shocked, right? It's
Yeah.
just, So and again, I mean, I just share that with you. There's no action, right? It's an understanding of the dynamics we're wrestling with. The other thing I wanted to comment from a finance standpoint on our audits. We did receive the preliminary draft of the 2021 audit. I read through it, 38 pages. Caught a couple of minor typos. You could tell where they copy certain things from other audits that they do, just in general, all that kind of stuff. Extremely well done. I am very impressed with what this new auditor is doing for us. So I reviewed that, sent it back, so we should be seeing the 2021 audit here relatively soon. And literally over the weekend, I just got their draft of the 2022 audit. So that'll be good, and I gotta believe that we'll have the 23 here in a relatively quick fashion.
So what does that mean for us for the city, Ramona? Where is our auditors are still waiting, are they waiting for all three of those years?
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
All
so
of
we
them,
can't,
21 and 22 are here, so they
okay,
don't issue ours.
In draft, yep. And they'd be more than welcome to see the draft. I mean, I don't think, I caught calling us a village in one case and, a few things like that, but, the data is the data, so.
When will they be final, do you know?
I would guess, I don't think we'll have it in time for the May board report, but I would guess we'd have it for the June.
the 2 years, not the 3.
Oh, we'll get 2023 here probably in the next 2-3 weeks.
Right, right.
And then is there any timing on 24?
Then they will start 24.
No timing.
Yeah, they haven't even started
Right.
24 yet.
Okay.
They're trying to get us caught up, so.
Got it.
Couple of things emergency wise, that you probably have heard about. We did have a fatal car crash. We had 2 really serious crashes, one on Kennedy Road, and one on Newville Road. The Newville did involve a fatality, was in the town of Harmony. And then we had a house fire over in the city of Milton that also involved a fatality a couple of weeks ago. We believe that fire smoldered. If you know how fires work, it certainly does. When it doesn't have enough oxygen, it just sort of smolders. But it's possible that fire smoldered for 12 hours before it was detected. And the person, we just hope, succumbed very rapidly in the early parts of that. I talked to Ramona just a little bit. There are a couple of pieces of state legislation that are making their way through the legislature. The thing that I am most excited about is that they are being introduced by the majority party and a couple of very prominent members on the assembly side and on the Senate side by members of the majority parties. Got a chance to testify along with, I mean, again, you guys have all done this too. You go to hearings, there's 3 or 4 people in there. The room was full and outside the room was a lot more. Ramona's counterparts, the city administrators from Omro and Winneconne had just some amazing stories as to how this is just plain killing local municipalities. So I'm at least hopeful that we might get somewhere. 3 different pieces of legislation dealing with levy limits on fire and EMS, dealing with recovery rates for treatment, no transports. That's that $59 number I was kicking out there. I'm just kind of hoping, right, that we get somewhere both at the state level and at the federal. So keep you apprised of that. The GMT thing, stuff keeps breaking. I appreciate Bob's situation with the squad car, right? I mean, we can't take anything in and not find out that there's 2 other things we missed. And then I mentioned the cadet recognition. So anybody that would like to, at 5:30, it'll be in Station 2 and the fire station itself in Edgerton, recognizing those 9 high school guys.
And you get free cake and ice cream for that.
Yeah.
Yes, oh yeah, we're really good at cake and ice cream.
Good, so that's.
And I'm gonna apologize, I have another meeting, I don't mean to be disrespectful and walk out on you, but
Can you use some of these back since there's extras of weren't here, Julie was here for them, had another meeting taken.
I mean, they're draft at this point, because, you know, we got reconciliation and all that kind of stuff, so. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Chief.
Good luck, Zach.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
See you.
That's it, bye.
Okay, right, next item is consider second reading and adoption of City of Edgerton ordinance 25-10, amend chapter 375, vehicle and traffic, section 375-3, parking restrictions regarding parallel parking, City of Edgerton, Rockland, Dane County, Wisconsin.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to the second to approve the second reading and adopt City of Edgerton ordinance 25-10. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Kribel,
Yes.
Grisanti,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Fenske,
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item is consider mayor committee appointments. I'd like to nominate Casey Lang as the alternate for the zoning board of appeals. Who offered up that? So,
Yeah.
Second.
motion to the second to put Casey Lang on ZBA. Any discussion?
who seconded that?
That was a couple.
Both of them did, so.
Got one?
Yeah, I just picked one. Shaw,
Yes.
Grisanti,
Yeah.
Kribel,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Fenske,
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item is mayor, all the person and staff reports. As you all heard, the fishing derby's the 18th. It is interesting to go to one time again.
It is. It really is.
There's a lot of kids down there.
And they all get.
They all get some-
They all get one.
Yeah.
And, they do hot dogs and brats, so. And I'll be able to make that. Then on the, 19th, the hospital's being recognized for being the top 20, I think it's nationwide. Critical care access hospital with patient satisfaction. And they're having a 1 o'clock presentation, a little get together there in the lobby, starting and then going down into one of the meeting rooms. So that's open to anybody, so. I think that's all I have. Does anybody else have anything that I might have missed?
I just wanted to remind the Board of Review members that Board of Review is the 15th. All of you people that are on
Yeah,
Board of
thank you
Review.
very much.
You'll be getting an agenda Friday, but I just want you to remember.
Anybody else? Okay, then let's see what we'll do with the motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
So the second to adjourn. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.